Okay, before I measure the bottom of that, time to make a decision. Here we're in the closet. We just so happen to have a crawl hole. See where it's cut out here that goes underneath the house. Okay, see, right in there, and I cut the baseboard. Well, the baseboard's up slightly, and then when I put the quarter round trim material down over the top of this, I left it short just a hair to slide that in and out. Well, for a little bit of insulation on here so the cold air doesn't come in during the winter, I've got this little piece of carpet here. This was the old carpet. I saved a little piece, cut it, and I'm going to put that right here like that, and that'll kind of keep that air from coming in. So that raises the floor up just a hair. And if I have 24-inch items to store underneath this shelf, I only have it from here to there before it raises up about a good 3/8 of an inch. You know, once you have heavy stuff stacked on here, this is about a 1/2 inch, but it kind of mashes down about 3/8. So I've got to decide, how technical do I want to get having that bottom exactly 24 inches? I've got to like split the difference way, you know, make this little section of the shelf a little bit higher than 24, this one a little bit lower, even though the shelf is going straight across. And so I'll kind of play with that and come up with my number, because I've got to get that before I transfer these marks down. Because see where the center of this line is, where I found the center of the studs, I've got to transfer that down to the bottom of this, and I don't want to mark down too low. That's why I'll get my level, line that up, measure up, get a mark at the bottom. Do you see what I mean? Okay, and so that's my next step, figuring that out. Okay, I'm going to make it like either 22 inches off the floor or 21 7/8 all the way across. Now, this is an exterior wall, okay? So I know the floor right there is pretty straight. I ran my level down there to check that, and it looked pretty level. Now, if you have an interior wall that you're doing this to, your floor might not be perfectly straight, so you don't necessarily want to just measure off of this before you kind of figure this out. I mean, you could measure at the end, whatever your measurement, let's say it's 22 and 22, put a screw on both sides, take a string and wrap that around your screw on both ends, or a chalk line, and then you can hold your level up next to that string and see how close you are. Think, oh, okay, this side has to be lowered down a little bit, or this side has to be raised up. Whatever the shortest distance is, if you don't want it any lower, and the other side has to be raised up 1/8 of an inch, you can raise it up 1/8 of an inch with the screw, and then put your line. You don't necessarily have to snap your line. I would not suggest snapping a chalk line if your wall paint is a matte finish, flat, or even an eggshell, depending what color. If you got red chalk or green chalk or purple or something like that, it may take you a while to get that stuff off. This is semi-gloss paint that I've decided to put in here. I could snap a line on there if I wanted, and then I could adjust that by snapping another line, wiping off the excess before I snapped another line, because with semi-gloss paint you can do that. Or you can take a metal stud. I happen to have a long metal stud, and you could set that down because that's nice and straight, and you could set that down, and then you could put your level. You could put your level on top of that. This track, this piece is only 5 feet long, but you can get it 10 foot long at the Home Depot. And I use this for all kinds of little metal brackets and just different things. And so I just keep that and use it whenever I need to for different things. And I used that for a straight edge the other day. It cut insulation. It worked out really good. That. Okay. And so I know this floor is pretty good. So I'm just going to measure up to each individual one of these as I go. I don't have to snap a line or anything like that. I don't want to put any more holes. I know this floor is pretty straight. It's not warped, and it's laying down pretty flat and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm good to go. Okay, ready for my next step. Okay, corporate decision, 21 7/8 from the floor. Okay, and so I've got to figure this out, where this point is, and I can just eyeball straight up to where this line is, can I? 21 7/8. Okay. 21 7/8. Now I can take my level and just plumb down from there. And remember where the center of your stud is. Is it the hole? Is it the line? I know it's my line. Okay. I know where the bottom is there. Okay. And so now I'm covering up my line. So I'll just have to go over this way. And there's my plumb mark. So now I can mark this, and that's the center. Okay, that's the center, and that's the bottom. Okay, and so when I hold my bracket up there, that's going to be the center and the bottom. I'm not going to be able to see the center, am I? And so I'll take my bracket, and I mean, I could hold it up there and eyeball it, get the first screw in, and then put my level on there and stuff. But for the sake of argument, I got 1 1/8, so half of that is a long 1/2 inch to the center. Okay, a long 1/2 inch to the center, and so to the edge, I can put a mark over here, a long 1/2 inch from there, right? I can. And that's where the edge is going to be. And I can just put an arrow like that if I want. And I know that's where the edge, that's where the right hand edge is going to be. And I did that because as I'm walking in to the closet, I'm walking this way, so I'm not going to see the line. If I get slightly off or something, I won't see the pencil line, will I? If I do it on the left side, I may see it after I get it up. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but so I know that's where the edge of that's going to be, and that's going to be the edge, and that's going to be the bottom. And so on the bottom, I can get some of that pencil mark off of there if I wanted. Now remember, if you're doing this on any kind of wall, flat paint, eggshell paint, something like that, you may get a smudge there. You may want to clean it off with simple grain and erase or something. But the idea is, whatever you mark, you don't want to have to start going too wiggy on all of your lines, because you want to know that these are going to show if you get off. Now see, that one, this one here, I know is going up, and it's going to hit the ceiling. So what I'm going to do is I'll put my level, I'll get this up here, line that up exactly, and so I know where the top goes and all that, and then I'll make a decision, where my shelves are going to go. And if my shelf is not going to be exactly at the top, depending where that last bracket's going to go, I may cut that bracket off higher, lower, whatever, knowing that the angled walls is not going to be in my way. Okay, so but before I decide on the angled walls, I'm going to get my other ones done first, because see, this is not a full 5-foot rail. I know this one's going to be full, and the end one's going to be full. Then I have to decide, am I going to put one here, or am I going to let the shelf span 2 feet? I kind of think I need to have an extra one there. I might as well go stronger and not weaker, especially because this is the main area that we're going to be putting stuff right in here. As the first thing you go in, you're gonna want to grab something right there, and so chances are all of this area is going to be used way more than maybe stuff down there. That's going to just be kind of for stores and stuff. And so I think I'm going to end up putting one there. So once I get these 3, then once I do the same marks like that, I can get ready to mount that before I decide where to start cutting those, because I can put my shelf brackets on here on these first 3 and then see where it's going to come across to decide, okay, how high does this one need to go? Does it have to go all the way up to the ceiling? Can it come down a little bit? Can I fit a 4-footer in there? Maybe its measurement is 50 inches. Can I get a 4-foot piece in there and still know that the bracket's going to fit? Whatever. These vertical brackets don't necessarily have to go all the way up. Do you see what I mean? Depending where these shelves go. And then where these shelves go, if they go in between and one shelf overhangs halfway, then I've got to make a decision. Do I cut little brackets and put a small one up there to hold that, and then have that held with a plastic anchor, or what? So, decisions I have to make. But first things first, getting these first 3 installed. Now see, this is a pantry, and I'm using these kind of shelves. Yeah, I mean, most people don't do that, but hey, that looks pre-finished. It's all nice and white. I've got the extra duty, strong, heavy duty support brackets. The vertical brackets are the heavy duty ones. Even the shelves are the heavy duty ones, because they've got the wire is a little bit thicker, the main bars, and the wires are closer together. Boom, 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 boom. So you can use them for shelves like that. So hey, can you use metal shelves for pantries? Yeah. And if you didn't want to, like I said, I was thinking initially to put wood across here, like melamine, pre-finished melamine shelving, but see, I'd have to put that on there, line this up exactly. These happen to have a hole here. I'd have to get a screw just right for the length of this to screw it up into the wood, and then there was only one screw. It's like, okay, what am I going to do over here? Do I just let it free float? I mean, I could have, or I could have put some little brackets on here, some L brackets, but I thought, no. Even with the white melamine, after a while, the pre-finished white on there starts scarring up. You know what I'm talking about. Look underneath your sink, your kitchen sink, if you got melamine, or where your pots and pans are. And if your house is 7-8 years old or so, you pull those out and look, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I don't really want all that marks on the melamine shelving here and that kind of thing. So that's why I decided to go with the metal shelves.